plummeted 15%. And with building approvals for detached houses improving, Master Builders Australia says it's a welcome sign more non-investors are entering the housing market, helping to rebalance the property space. For more, I'm joined by Peter Jones, economist of Master Builders Australia, now from our Canberra studio. Look, thanks very much for your time today, Mr. Jones. Just to start with, you talk about a rebalancing. Is it your belief, and certainly it's one that is held by many out there, that there is an imbalance at the moment in the eastern property space, particularly in Sydney?
Well, there has been. There's certainly been a lot of investor activity, but what we saw today in the latest building approvals figures was encouraging in that it was, as you said, close to 5% increase in detached houses approvals, and actually has turned the trend from being lukewarm, if negative, to strongly positive now. In fact, they are up by 9% through the year. So we see this as possibly the first signs of a rebalancing and a trend towards more detached house approvals in the first instance, followed by, of course, commencements and then work done.
What do you think is leading to that increase? Is it a case of simply low interest rates? I mean, you could argue they've been around for some time.
Well, you could, and what we did see, of course, was a flurry of activity that saw high-rise and unit approvals increase by something close to 30%. We've seen disappointing results in detached housing, and that was, of course, to do with this investor-driven activity. But now we are starting to see growth improving in the detached house segment, and so that's a really good thing for this current cycle if it was to be more sustainable and more balanced. And of course the overarching question is, will we see a long and strong recovery in residential building, which is really overdue for not only the residential building industry, for the sake of builders, part of Master Builders, but for the broader general economy. It's a key component in the rebalancing of the economy.
And your best guess as to whether or not we will in fact see that sustainable increase within that segment?
Look, I don't think that the momentum in the high-rise and unit sector is going to go away anytime soon, but I do think that the detached house segment will continue to grow quite strongly now, and so as this cycle starts to mature, it will be more balanced, and hopefully we'll see house activity holding at high levels for a number of years to come.
And who do you think it is that is now in that market? I mean, we heard before about first home buyers and still a lack of their involvement within the market. Do you see that also becoming a next leg of growth, or is it still the market at the moment being still rather prohibitive for first home buyers?
Look, affordability is the key question here, of course, and so it is difficult for first home buyers. So what we're seeing now in the detached house segment is perhaps the upgraders, if you like, the people who are buying their second and third and sometimes even houses, in terms of their life cycle. But as you say before, the key in all of this is affordability, and Master Builders strongly believes, as does the Reserve Bank and a number of senior ministers and treasurers, that the issue is to do with supply impediments. So that's where policy needs to focus. Get rid of those supply impediments.
Well, and how do you go about doing that? I assume it's a state government-based quandary at the moment. Is it simply a case of opening up further land blocks, land supply? Is that the answer? Because a lot of people say, well, we don't want to live where they're opening up the land. We want to live near the CBD.
Well, you need both, and you certainly need, horizontal or greenfields growth, but you also need vertical or brownfields growth. So, look, Master Builders has got an affordability agenda. It does include using the leadership of the national government, so the federal government has a role. It's a vexed issue, it's a complex issue, but there certainly is a need for something like the old national competition policy style incentive payments for the states and territories and the local governments to improve their, clean up their act, to reduce bottlenecks and inefficiencies, which, yes, as you say, does include land release. It also includes inefficient, if not, ridiculously high developer charges, and also the inefficient development assessment process.
All right, Peter Jones, do appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's check in on see how markets are faring.